So it got started with the Mullet bike adventure earlier this year when I picked up a Scott Genius. Really the idea there was wanted to get a 27.5 bike that could run 29-inch wheels. So I wanted to try that out. I actually really liked 29-inch wheels, except got short legs and found that I was hitting my ass on the tire in certain situations, and it made it a bit scary to ride. So I had both sets of wheels. I said, well, let's try the Mullet bike, and it actually worked super well. Really fun setup for general riding. Did well in some races riding on it, but ultimately felt like it was just a little bit too short of a bike. So I went out looking for something that was a bit longer but could still fit my short legs, and I ended up on a Stumpjumper EVO. And really the idea was to ride that as a 27.5. I didn't actually love it right out of the box though. I thought it was way too low of a bottom bracket, and just didn't really feel that great right out of the initial ride. But I had my Scott set up, the taller stack height, so I tried to set up as a Mullet and actually really liked that. The bottom bracket was up higher in a much more comfortable position, and just all around it felt like it worked super well. So I was really keen on the Mullet bike and thought that's going to be the setup. So I went ahead and got out a dedicated fork for the Stumpjumper and was ready to go. But I also decided to try and see if a 29 would actually fit on there. It turns out it does. So 29-inch rear wheel fits fine, and plenty of clearance. So I thought, well, let's give that a go. And maybe with the longer reach, I won't actually have the clearance issues with the rear wheel. And went out for a ride to see how that went. First run on the 29er, the full 29 setup. Feeling pretty good. So 29er felt great, really. I mean, no issues. A couple little bumps on the bum, but nothing too much. So I think it could really work, but I think it's still a little bit of that fear that you could get hung up on the back tire. So we added the 27.5, flipped that on after doing a run down Eric with the 29 setup. So we got the poor man's Cathro vision going here. 27.5 on the left here, and it turned out to be about a second faster over the course of a 23-second section of trail. I don't think there's much to be made of that, to be honest. But I think despite that, going to stick with the Mullet setup just because it has the confidence to know I've got the rear tire clearance. First ride on the EVO as a 29er. With the 29, it was actually in the low setting, pretty reasonable. Stock 63.5 head angle, maybe a little bit less than that actually because I've got a taller fork on it now. And then 342 millimeter bottom bracket height, plus running a little bit more sag in the fork and the shock actually felt like a really good overall sort of setup in terms of ride height. Started out with the 29, did that all across town with that wheel on my back. Brought the 27.5 as well. The second half of the ride, put the 27.5 with the 2.6 Magic Mary, which is a pretty tall tire. With high setting, I tried that last week, and it was a little bit too high bottom bracket. I think it was around 350. So just actually measuring it up now, I clocked that at like 340 or maybe 339, 338 in the low setting, but I think it's like 62.5 head angle. Noticeably slacker really on seat angle more than the head angle. But I think at the end of the day, I think actually this is going to be the core setup going forward. I think I'm going to go ahead and switch over to a 2.4 Maxxis DHR, and then run in the high setting, which I think will be about the same as running this in the low setting. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to do one more little measure up here. 72.5. Let's call it 72. That comes out at about 7 55 millimeters. 71 centimeters. Noticeably shorter than the Mary, but we'll see how we do. So first off, this Maxis looks tiny on there. It really drops it down and slackens it out. So, all right, just measured the front, and yeah, that 6150, something like that. Gonna have to see if we can put it into high mode, see where we end up there. So that's the final setup. Still feel like it might be a little too slack with the smaller tires, so we might need to go back to the Magic Mary, but head out to Bike Park Wales tomorrow to give it a go.